I've been in 3 near-death car crashes, and I've had 6 cars throughout my life. Let's talk about it. So it all started back in 2019 when I got my first car, a Lexus IS 250, and that was such a beauty. Oh my god, I was ecstatic. I felt invincible, and I honestly felt on top of the world. There's no better feeling than when you get your first car. I don't care what anyone says. You can't match that feeling. That feeling is just literally like astronomical lengths above all other feelings. Like, I literally felt like I could do anything anytime on the road, and that kind of leads me into my next point, the crash. So, you know, it was a rear-wheel drive car, and it was a sports car. You know, it was a pretty fast car, and honestly, I really did enjoy that car. You know, it came with subwoofers, and that was lit. You know, I had the boys over and stuff, and it was a vibe, you know, for a good 2 months. It lasted 2 or 3 months, and my dumb ass had to crash it. So basically, I was at a family event helping them set up in the morning time, and everything went south. So I had to use the bathroom, and I decided to go home a little bit early so that I could go ahead and use the bathroom at my parents' house, because I didn't feel comfortable using it at my family's house, and I had to do a number 2, you know what I'm saying? So I dipped out of there, and I was zooming like crazy on a local street. So pretty much just picture the street. It's going like this, like a curve, like a local street. 30 mile per hour is the limit. I was going 45-50 miles, and like I said, it's a rear wheel drive car. I didn't know how to handle it, so I was going 40-50 miles an hour on a local, and I ended up hitting the curve, and I lost traction. I lost control of the car. It ended up going like this, pretty much swiveling, and ultimately the car flipped completely over. It was tragic. Let me tell you, it was like a movie. I'll never forget it. I was playing the song Juice WRLD, Roses by Juice WRLD and Benny Blanco, I believe it is, and that song's fire. Still one of my favorite songs, top 3 to this day. I just don't play it. Like, I don't even play Juice WRLD in my car anymore because of that accident. Like, that literally scarred me for life. And you know, the music was still playing. I ran over to my cousin. I told him what happened. He didn't believe me, because picture, his house was like right here on the curve, and I went like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I curved around, so I was on the other side. Pretty much he couldn't see the car, so he didn't believe me. Then like, I was bleeding and stuff, so then he saw me, and then he realized, like, holy, he actually crashed. So then he went over to go check the scene with me, and yeah, car was completely totaled, wrecked. The insurance hated me, the cops hated me, my parents hated me, everyone hated me. And you know, that was justified, to be honest with you. That was really stupid of me, and I still don't know to this day how the hell it happened. One of these days I'll take you guys on that street, and I'll show you guys the scene of the crash, and you guys give me your opinions on how the hell it happened, because we don't know to this day. But the car pretty much was totaled. You know, we tried to fix it up. We took it to the shop. You know, the guy tried charging us like an arm and a leg, almost the amount of what the car was worth, just because he was trying to take the insurance money. But on top of that, he promised to finish the car within a month or a month and a half max. Then when that month happened, when that month ended, we hit him back up. He wasn't even texting us updates about the car. We ended up having to go check out the car. The car was still in really bad condition, and it didn't look like he was making much progress. This was around a month and a half, 2 months down the road. So then we decided, well, my dad decided, because obviously I'm a kid, I want my car, you know what I'm saying? That's my dream car. Like, honestly, like, I never thought I could get anything better, and that's what I wanted. I knew I couldn't get another car. I knew I would have to take the bus, and that's pretty much what ended up happening. We lost the car. We had to give the guy the car because he was just charging too much, and he was taking too long, and the car really didn't seem like it was going to be, you know, it was never going to drive the same, so we just decided to let it go. So moving on to my second car, I had a blue 98 Honda Accord. That car was honestly pretty beautiful for what it was, and it was honestly really fun, because like, when you're a kid, and just in general, you appreciate things a lot more. You know, when you're between the ages of like 16 to 25, you should really appreciate whatever it is that you get, especially if you have a vehicle to drive. And that was me. I was super happy, super excited. I learned a lot from that car. That car overheated and had a ton of issues, don't get me wrong. Had to change radiator, had to do a bunch of different things, but hey, me and the boys still had a blast in it. Well, I remember it just like it was yesterday. I think it was 2020 or even 2019, I'm not sure, when Avengers Endgame came out, and me and my boys, we went to the theater, and then on the way home, like, we were literally 5 minutes from dropping my friends off, and the car starts overheating. Literally smoke coming out the engine. I never seen like smoke coming out the engine. I knew that the car had an overheating issue, but I thought that we got it solved. It turned out to be a leak, and it was crazy, ridiculous. No accidents or anything crazy happened with the Accord. I kind of did push it to the limit. My grandfather was actually the one that gave it to me, and he told me never to push it past 60. I kind of hit 90 one time, maybe a couple times, you know what I'm saying? It was fun. It was a good car, you know, VTEC, you know what I'm saying? It was lit. But nah, like, on to my next car. This is my third car. I got an Acura RSX. Unfortunately, it wasn't a Type S, but it was still freaking valid. Those cars are so aesthetically pleasing, just super, super beautiful cars, and you could do so much to them. And I learned a ton from that car. And I had that car for a minute, for like a good while. The car had about 130,000 on the dash, and it was driving really smooth, really nice leather seats. Me and the boys again was having mad fun in there. It was lit. You know, we went on mad adventures, and that car honestly, like, it made me feel like a badass. Like it really was like a step closer towards feeling that Lexus feeling that I had when I got my first car, and it was lit. It was a really good car, but I crashed her as well. Honestly, though, this really wasn't my fault. I mean, it kind of was and it kind of wasn't. And pretty much what ended up happening was the day that my favorite artist, Juice WRLD, died, I was losing my shit. I was going through it. I literally found out within, you know, 15, 30 minutes of it happening, and I was devastated. I couldn't even believe it. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I just, like, I had discovered him, you know, like, two years prior, a year and a half prior, something like that, and I just, like, I fell in love with his music and just who he was as a person. Just really cool dude. I even have a tattoo of Juice WRLD. I might pop it up on the screen as well, but man, it was really sad for me. It was a sad day. I instantly went into like a sadness, you know, hole, and I buried myself in there. I was staying over at my parents for the weekend, and I was actually living at my grandparents at the time, so I ended up having to drive home that night. But I hit up my tattoo artist to get me a tattoo that same night, and I was supposed to get that tattoo regardless. And yeah, I was supposed to get that tattoo anyways. Even before I knew that Juice WRLD was gonna pass, I was planning it out for about a week or two, and I ended up going to get the tattoo. And one thing about me, and this was actually the tattoo, I'm sure I popped up a picture, but this was the tattoo. And one thing about me is that, you know, if I have an extensive like tattoo session, like more than an hour and a half, I would say, I start feeling like really sick, like getting a certain type of sick, bad feeling. And I don't know, it's just the way my body reacts to it, and my body reacts very weirdly to certain tattoos. So anyways, I was already like kind of just really down in the dumps, sad, depressed that my favorite artist passed away, unfortunately. RIP Juice WRLD. So pretty much after that, I got the tattoo, and I was feeling really sick, but I ended up having to go home that same night because I had work in the morning. So I told my parents, you know, I was gonna leave. It was around 9:30 at the time, and you know, the roads were clear. The roads were pretty good, and I was just driving. Pretty much, I was driving on a 4-lane street at this time. Like, it turned into 4 lanes. It's a 2-lane, but it turned into 4 lanes. There was a left turning lane. There was a right turning lane. So picture just me going straight, and then there's a whole nother line of traffic coming from the other side over the grassy area. So I'm going about 65 and a 55 at this point, going straight, and I'm about to hit the light. I'm about to get to the light, and there's a guy on the other side going to turn left, right? So I didn't think anything of it. Honestly, I didn't really like put 2 and 2 together, and I really didn't think that he was in that much of a rush and that he was gonna cut me off. But the guy ends up cutting me off as I'm literally crossing, and literally gets within like what, 5-6 feet of the car. So I had to jerk the steering wheel, and on top of that, the guy was moving slow as shit. Like, when you're making a turn like that, you have to commit. Like, why the fuck are you like taking your sweet ass time with it? That's how you cause like a multi-car accident. That's how people get killed. So I literally had to swerve, you know, away to the left, and then obviously, you know, I lost traction, I lost control of the car, so I ended up swerving to the left, then I swerved to the right, then I swerved to the left, and then I ended up in a ditch. It wasn't that big of a ditch, by the way, but I ended up in a ditch on the right end of the road, and I hit a couple little trees on the way over. I thought the car was totaled, to be honest with you. You know, I felt really embarrassed, and we ended up not contacting law enforcement just because they make things worse, to be honest with you. They're not really there to help. They're just there to do their job, and they don't even want to do that. So we ended up not calling law enforcement. It was just me in the car. Again, guys, in all of these accidents, like, I was the only person in the car, unfortunately. But anyways, I ended up driving to my old community, which wasn't far from the crash, with a like half broken down car. Like all 4 of the tires were flat. 2 of them were completely flat. Like, the whole body was messed up, and I just drove that going like 30, cruising like 5-10 minutes to get to the nearest community, which we used to live at. And the tow truck ended up picking up the car. But honestly, I thank God, you know, for that experience. I'm not gonna lie, and for all of these accidents, I thank God, because honestly, it taught me how to become a better driver and just how to watch out for myself. And 90% of the time, it's other people that are making the mistakes and that don't care about you or your life or anybody else's life on the road, and they're just gonna drive like idiots. So just be very safe out there, guys. Like, these accidents really taught me a lot. And on top of that, after that accident, I really love that car, like I said. So I put my all into that car. You know, I learned how to change a tire from that car. Me and my father, we changed the intake on that car car. We did, you know, a bunch of different things. I changed the mirror on that car. I cleaned out the whole inside of the car. The list goes on, you know, and I had to learn so much from that car. And I just honestly, I cherish those memories. You know, they really taught me a lot just about cars in general. So after everything was done with the RSX, I ended up moving on to my next car, a Nissan Rogue. I believe it was 2016 edition, and it had all the bells and whistles and everything. It was a freaking amazing car. Like, oh, I miss that car so much. Like, that's one of the most like missed cars that I have, because that car is just lit. That car was a vibe. Like, they had a Bose sound system, a dope ass trunk. All the boys could fit in it. We filmed the music video, and part of it was like in the video, I believe. It was insane. It was a lit car. Also just gave me a new love for just the SUV line in general. I see why a lot of people switched over to them. I don't knock them. You know, they're pretty lit. You know, down the road, I definitely want to get an SUV. My dream is like to get a Tesla. That'd be freaking sick. That would be sick. Imagine me in a Tesseract, bruh. That'd be lit. Hey, but nah, with the Nissan Rogue, that was honestly just a super unfortunate experience. I honestly think it was one of the worst accidents, or one of the worst things I've ever gone through in my life. It just made me fall into a major depression, and it was just terrible, like what happened to that car. Like, and it was so short-lived. That car only lasted like what, like 4 or 5 months or so. It lasted a little while, but it didn't last that long, you know. And it wasn't even my fault. Again, I don't want you guys to think I'm a bad driver. Like, a lot of these accidents, they're not my fault. Like, shit happens, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. People don't look out for you. They don't care about you. They do not care about you. Nobody's looking out for you. That guy that gave you a pass, he don't give a fuck about you. He did it because he felt like he needed to, you know what I'm saying? They don't care about you. So anyways, I got the car around December for Christmas time, and this was around July 4th that the accident happened. So on July 4th, not even around, this was on July 4th that the accident freaking happened, bro. That's what makes it so tragic. I was heading over to pick up one of my friends to take him to a little get-together me and my other friends were having, and it was supposed to be a good night. It was supposed to be a good time. You know, we were gonna see some fireworks, you know, shoot some BB guns, you know, drink some beers, you know, just have some fun in general with the boys, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't supposed to happen the way it did, but again, like, nobody was in the car. It was just me, thank God. And you know, with this type of accident, if somebody else was in the car, they would have gotten messed up, to be honest with you. Probably some neck fractures, some bone fractures, back fractures, whatever. So I'm really glad that nobody else was in the car and it was just me. But it was pouring rain on July 4th. I was driving over to pick him up on the highway. And the highway, it's a one-way going and a one-way coming. I was driving towards the main town where my friend lived, pretty much going, you know, northbound, I think it was. And then this person was driving southbound. Honestly, I could have these directions completely mixed, I'm not sure. But this person was going this way, I was going that way, and it was pouring rain. This lady was driving actually pretty crazy. She was going at least 65, 70 miles per hour in the pouring rain. Like, I'm telling you, it was like tropical storm rain. It was really crazy. And I was going about 50, honestly, below the speed limit. The speed limit was 55. I was going 50 because I was scared, bro. I don't like driving in the rain. And then when you're in an SUV, you kind of, at least in my SUV, like, it felt like I was sliding a lot, and like I just didn't like it. So I drove slow, and I had a good like 2-3 cars behind me, like tailing me, to be honest. But I didn't care. I just literally just drove, like, and I pretty much drove speed limits. So I mean, they can't really blame me. Anyways, this lady loses control, hydroplanes in her car. She had like a 2009 2008 Hyundai or something like that it was. Anyway, she ended up hydroplaning into my car. So pretty much just picture I'm going this way, she's coming that way. So she loses traction, loses control of her car, starts hydroplaning, and then pretty much I'm here, she goes like this. So she's losing control, she loses control, goes off towards the ditch side. My car is here. So I couldn't brake fully because obviously, like, it's pouring rain. Even though I'm going pretty slow, I could not brake fully. So I stepped on the brakes, but I didn't like completely smash it, because you're not supposed to completely smash it. Then I pulled really hard to the left, as hard as I could pull, and I still clipped her car at the end. And she totaled both of our cars. Lady, if you're watching this, I hate you. You suck. You put me in therapy, and I hate you. I had to go to therapy after that. My car was totaled. Beautiful car. You guys are seeing the footage right now. I'm still super triggered by this topic every time it comes up. That's why this video is so hard to make, because these topics are very sentimental to me, and they mean a lot to me, and they really affected me a lot in life. Like, literally half the person that I am today is because of that. Like, it's crazy. But anyways, that happened, and yeah, the car was unfixable. Insurance, you know, they paid out, you know, for liability or whatever. She only had liability. And then I ended up getting my next car, which was this beautiful baby right here, the car that I'm rocking rocking with today. So I got that car a little bit over 2 years ago now, and she has taken me everywhere. I love her to death. She's amazing, you know what I'm saying? Very reliable, economically fuel efficient, good car, solid color, solid rims and stuff. Whoever had it before me, they scuffed up the rims though, but it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? It's still a great car, and you know, it hasn't really given me too many issues, knock on wood. So I'm just praying that this car, you know, everything goes well with it. I've been driving a lot more safer and a lot more cautious on the road, and I'm always anticipating. Guys, when you're driving, make sure that you're anticipating anything another driver may do, even if you know like 99% of the time that it won't happen. Just think about that 1% and let that like drive you, because you got to be very cautious. I'm not a defensive driver by any means, you know. I would say I'm sort of in a mix. And honestly, I'm slightly a little bit more aggressive, if anything, just because of the way people drive out here in Florida. Everybody drives aggressive, so you have to have some sort of aggression to you when you're driving out here, because people drive like garbage. Nobody signals, you know, everybody cuts people off, you know, people don't care about you, they don't give you a pass regardless, and people make very stupid decisions on the road in Florida. Honestly, it's probably top 3 states in the US with the worst drivers. Very bad state to drive in. So moving on to my 6th and final car, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, my 2001 Lexus GS 300, my baby, my project baby. You already know we gonna have a lot of content on that car coming very soon, as soon as this freaking guy gets me the title. Because how are you gonna sell a car but you're not willing to go to the DMV with the person that purchased the car to get the title? Because it's some electronic title, and we're supposed to go into the DMV. We've been supposed to go there, and he's been ducking me. I don't understand. Every time I hit him up, you know, he sounds like he's down, but then he's not. Then he doesn't hit me up, then he ghosts me, you know, whatever. That's how people are in general, you know what I'm saying? When they can't benefit off of you anymore, they stop hitting you up. That's literally how people are. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But listen, stay tuned for more GS content and more project car content coming on the way. You already know. And lastly, I just wanted to say a special thank you to the boys. You guys really mean the world to me. You know, looking back on these videos, I already know just how much you guys have, you know, implemented, just how much you guys have done for me in my life, and I just cherish you guys to the bottom of my heart. I've always shown you guys my love and appreciation, and I just wanted to do it again here, you know, because looking back on these videos, they gave me a lot of nostalgia, and I miss you guys, man. We got to link up soon. Throughout all these car accidents, the boys have really had my back throughout everything, and they have, you know, picked me up from my accidents. They've supported me. They gotten me out of my depressions post accident. They've gotten me out of, you know, so many situations, and I just thank you all so much. You know, I'll continue to show you guys my greatness throughout the years, you know, as things get better for all of us. You know, we're all on the grind, we're all doing crazy things in our life. And with that being said, Flow Gang, I thank you guys for watching the video to the end. If you made it to the end, comment project car. I'm out. Peace.